You guys read the title right, and I hope you know who's on the thumbnail because today we are talking about a couple of Cuckoos. This anime aired back in April, which, Jesus Christ, that was such a long time ago, but after 25 weeks, I've completely watched this show, and I'm going to cut to the chase, guys. It was pretty bad. I guess the best way to put it is that it had a great basis of a story, but for some reason, Kadokawa Pictures ordered double the episode count than it really needed. But before we get there, let me set the stage. Nagi Imuno is your studious high schooler who dedicates most of his time to his family and studies. On his 17th birthday, it is revealed to him by his parents that he was swapped at birth with a girl who is now a social media icon. Not only that, but this chick is mad rich. Their parents contemplate what to do from here, propose for both of them to get married so that the families would be merged in their troubles in the past. With that, we watch the adventures of everyday life with our two main characters, Nagi's lovey-dovey sister, and his rival/crush, Sagawa. Now, from the way I explained it and interpreted it, this show has an amazing premise. Like, I genuinely wondered if this sort of thing happens, which, by the way, it does. It's just in extreme rare circumstances. But yeah, this whole idea of identity and who you consider family really intrigued me, and I wanted to know more. However, I was let down after one major problem that anybody who watched this show can agree on, and it's that there were way too many episodes. This show was dragged on for far too long. There were literally 4 different times that the entire group were just studying for an entire episode. It was so lackluster. The drag fell off because there was little development over a decent amount of episodes for these characters. Erika showed an ecstatic change from Nagi's existence in her life, and it was clear that she was more happy, as well as seeing the growth with his sister, Sachi, which I'll touch on in a bit. But this girl, Sagawa, good lord, was weird in a bad way. Let me explain. For some reason, she keeps on denying Nagi's love, even though she does love him, with an elusive engagement, which at this point, I don't even know if it even exists. But then makes choices that I feel are out of character towards our main character, at least. He sees her as an honest, truthful person, but she really isn't, and we really get that over the second half of the season. I think this is a good change, because maybe we'll see Nagi lose his feelings for her, but he flippin' doesn't at the end, so yeah. And we just got several glimpses of Sakura more or less doing things that she was in no place to do. You can't deny someone and then immediately pity them into telling you all their gosh darn secrets. He owes you nothing, and he's just crushing really hard. I also want to mention that I'm not saying Nagi should not love her over Erika, as that is his true feelings. The idea of destiny in my eyes is quite corny, and these stories really like using that device, so I want to make it clear that I don't think that mindset is correct. But anyways, then we got Sachi. The only time I felt Sachi had a sincere moment of development is when she accidentally kissed him. In all sincerity, I can totally see where she is coming from with loving him. After finding out he technically isn't her biological sister, she fell in love with him through the time they spent with one another. And it's not totally crazy of an idea, however, that doesn't mean it's correct. The way I see it, they are related even though they are not blood related. He sees Sachi as his sister, and with that understanding, then they can't really be together because that's incest at the end of the day. I also want to bring up Nagi's biological father, who is a flipping weirdo, man. I don't know his whole deal, and I kind of wish we saw more of him, but this dude is whack. He's even convinced that getting Nagi to marry Sachi is a solution to his family's ordeal, because she's technically not her daughter. This is a crazy way to think, and they've met up and chatted multiple times, so no wonder this girl's brain is all left up. Finally, we got Erika, and to put it simply, she's pretty boring. Yeah, she's growing her feelings for Nagi slowly, but that's literally it. Her characteristics are quite static. She just isn't that interesting or motivated for anything other than her brother. Now, I haven't mentioned this yet, but there's a minor B-plot where she's trying to find her lost brother, who just coincidentally is supposedly Nagi's older brother, which I could see being important, but I'm going to give my take and explain my theory as to why this is a bunch of crap. So Erika was pretty quiet about Nagi's brother's existence, and the only proof of him are pictures of him as a kid, which you might be like, oh, okay, so he exists. But the problem is that he looks identical to Nagi, extremely close. It's too improbable for him to have a brother. The fact that he wasn't told he was swapped at birth and he had a brother would be weird coming from his parents especially, so I don't buy that whole he has to exist coming from this girl. Not to mention the dad wanted Nagi to find out that Erika thinks this by putting pictures of him out on display, which caught Erika off guard. But again, this guy is unpredictable, and I think he just did it to get the two closer. Erika telling Nagi this information will make them closer, and once they finally get it through their thick skulls that it is him as a kid, then they'll click. Overall, those are the bits of the show that are worth bringing up. The only thing I also want to mention is that I really like how Nangi's parents are written. Like, they aren't rich or anything, but they're doing well, and they have fun with their kids, and I can really appreciate that from them. But as I said in the beginning, this show lacks heavily from the amount of, for lack of a better word, filler there was. This show should have been a 12 or 13 episode anime. Like, there was no need to go this far, and to not have a conclusive ending where he's set on one of the girls is downright disappointing after watching all these episodes. The overused soundtrack, mediocre animation, and beyond redundant plot lines also just shove this anime farther and farther down into the hatch of irrelevancy. Thanks for watching this week's video, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. I know it's spooky month, so I plan to have videos for the rest of the upcoming weeks to be somewhat Halloween themed. This month is somewhat busy for me, so I'm just trying my best to get videos up and rolling. But once again, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll catch you guys next week. See ya.